Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time. Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. I just got done having a fantastic podcast with Sam over here, and now we're here for Tea Time for extra bonus content. Cheers. Shake it up. Shake it up. Pro tip. Okay. Pro tip. Just so you know, shake well. It says it. It says it.
You read the can.
Yeah. Calories, bro. You got to know how many calories are in it.
ASMR.
That might have been one of the best in a while. That one was really, really good, man. So yeah, man, we just got done having a fantastic podcast, and in between our intermission here, we talked about some books here, and you have this this quote that we were just talking about. So go ahead, man. Take the floor is yours. Let's see.
Yeah, I have a ton of quotes from this author, Adam Grant, in his book, Originals, Originals, How Nonconformists See the World.
And Adam Grant has been brought into like discussion before. If you've been keeping up with the Middleman Podcast, Tea Time, whatever, I've talked about Think Again by Adam Grant with Summer Night. I know I did. Fantastic book, fantastic author. I definitely want to look into this book now. It's called The Originals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a ton of quotes here, but the one that we kind of just happened upon randomly was, the photos we like of ourselves are the opposite of the ones we prefer of our friends. So for me, I kind of was thinking about like the things that you see in your friends, the things that make you like them, and like a certain photo might exhibit that personality trait, but that might not be the personality trait that your friend wants the world to see. You know, so like if you were to make a profile page for your friend and then they made their own, it could look completely different because they probably want the ones that make them look impressive and cool, and then the ones that you put on there are the ones that you love and makes them feel personable and charismatic and approachable.
That's a really good point, man. Yeah, especially when you break it down into those terms. I think about that all the time. You know, like the Kevin that you're gonna get right now with the podcast, you know, Middleman Podcast Kev, Tea Time Kev, Kevin off the camera. I try to say I'm consistent throughout, you know, because I don't try to put on a different persona, but there is a professional manner that I have to keep from time to time, you know, and this is where I kind of throw all the professional manner out the window, you know, and have fun with it. But nonetheless, like Michael's seen me at, you know, I call him not a highlight of my career, which is just like, you know, me having pretty rough nights, you know, getting pretty intoxicated, probably waking up out. I've woken up outside, slept walk outside. Yeah, it was crazy. Great time.
Who hasn't?
Yeah. You ever sleepwalk?
When I was a kid.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So I'm not alone. I'm doing it now. So I'm a late bloomer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, only when I'm like fucked up though. All
okay.
Right? That's the word on the street, man. I've done stand-up comedy before. Okay, so I've done stand-up comedy. But yeah, man, so back to these quotes, these books, the different person who you're going to get. I try to be consistent. You know, how do you feel that we keep the consistency all the time? How does a person be consistent and not show a different selves? Why do we create this different persona, different face when we go out to the public as opposed to when we're all alone?
I almost think that we have to. I mean, of course, that's different depending on who you ask, but according to society, there's different ways you have to act when you are making your first impression to somebody, and different people are gonna treat you differently depending on how you act, and you kind of gotta feel them out to see how you can let down your guard around them, you know, because a lot of people you can't trust.
Yeah.
So you know, when you find somebody that you can be comfortable with and you can trust, then you can kind of open up a little bit more to that person.
Being on guard, yeah, it's kind of like it is kind of shameful that we feel like we need to, we have to, you know, and I think that's consistent. I don't think there's a single person on this planet who's the same through and through, alone and when they're outside. You know, like there's just no way. There's no way. It's not possible. I don't see it happening. But with that being said, when you do make these different personas, I don't think people should turn themselves into a different person. I think they should just manipulate themselves in a sense, because then you still have yourself, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think deep down you can still be consistent. You can still be the same person, but depending on where you are, you need to act a certain way. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to be professional or you can be casual, and definitely depends on if you have to fill a certain type of role. You know, like if you have an authoritative role, whether it be being a father or being a boss or something like that, like you have to be more professional and more strict, and you can't be as approachable as you would be just being somebody's buddy.
That's like with it brings you back to when I was the boss of my coworker or my friends at a facility at a hotel. You know, I was their supervisor, and you know, I'd be like, hey man, could you go do that for me? He'd be like, fuck you, Kev. And I'd be like, come on, bro. Like, I'm kind of trying to talk to you as a boss here. Like, I kind of really need you to do this so we can all leave here at the end of the night, you know, but that's the nitty gritty. Working with your friends is hard, man. It really is. It really is working with your friends, trying to be a boss. Like, even when I talk to the crew here, like, I feel like I annoy Michael at sometimes, you know, and it's like, I don't want to say I'm his boss. I don't feel like I'm your boss, bro. Go ahead. What are you saying? I can't hear you.
I said you annoy me like a boss.
I don't know you like a boss?
I'm joking. Like I said, you annoy me like a boss.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, it's okay though.
No,
you know,
that's how we work together. You know,
exactly.
It's work.
But then you can see the not so highlight of my career. You know, I've done stand up comedy. You know, I went and got these tattoos right after we had the first meet and greet, and I got this one on my tricep here, which is Hangman, and it's my name. I've spoken about it before, so. But here's the thing, all right? Here's something funny that I thought about, all right? So there's a supply house, not Lowe's, but it's another one similar to Lowe's. It's Home what?
Depot.
Okay, all right, cool. That's how you say that, okay. In Tobyhanna, right across from the state skate park, there's a military facility. It's called the Army
Depot?
Okay. My name is spelled Keven. How do you pronounce that?
Kevin, right?
All right, cool.
I mean, I think you...
No. Just hear me out. I'm setting you up here. Now you have Kevin. How do you pronounce that?
Kevin.
Cool. Perfect. Thank God. All right. So for some reason, when I give people my business card, my name's on there, okay? And I've heard all types of names and alterations for it, all right? But for some reason, the newest one was Kevin. And I was like, where are people getting, you know, because like the only thing that changes is the prefix, or excuse me, the suffix, the ending part, the IN and the EN. The beginning is Kev, prefix, KEV, right? So it's the same all the way throughout. Now, the reason I asked you why Home Depot and the Army Depot, you see how I'm like really trying not to break my character here, is because I've for a long time called the Army Depot the Army Depot. Spelled exactly the same. Nothing different at all. But I would call Home Depot.
Yeah.
You know you know what I mean? So it's like I would get frustrated. People be like, yo, where they getting this Kevin from? It's still Kev. It's just Kevin. It doesn't change, you know? But Home Depot, Army Depot, those are one of those ideas that I've gone back and forth. Those are just one of my tea time notes too, you know? So it's funny, man. It's funny how people alterate words when they speak, man. Home Depot, Army Depot. I still call it the Army Depot to this day. I've had people correct me on it, and I will still call it the Army Depot right in front of them. And it's just what distinguishes it, man. It changes it.
Yeah. I mean, that's commonplace in the English language.
The English language is rough, man. It really is.
Yeah. There's so many different pronunciations for so many different words. It depends on where you're from or who you are. And it's definitely a huge difference for names, too.
In the military, did you travel like across seas all over the place? Did you learn any other languages?
No. Didn't even try.
Oh, okay.
I was only in each country for a year, and I knew by the time I learned it, I would be gone. So I just got really good at hand signals and just kind of learning to go with the flow.
Nice, man. Nice. That must have been a pretty good experience. Where have you traveled?
I've been all over. The place that I met my business partner Jose was in Montenegro, but before there,
where is Montenegro? I've never heard of that.
It's below Serbia. It's,
okay.
Like it's east of Italy. It's north of Greece.
Awesome.
Kind of like it's in the Balkans.
Bad area, good area.
Yeah,
what are we working
nice.
with?
It's
okay.
nice. Former Yugoslavia.
Okay. Cool.
In the south of the Balkans.
Was that one of your favorite places? What were one of your favorite places that you were at?
It's really tough to say because there's so many different factors. The 3 main places I was in was Cambodia, Montenegro, and Russia. And Cambodia was great. It was a third world country, so it was really dirty and gross at some points, but it was definitely the most exciting by far. Like, every time I would leave my front door and go down the street, I would see something absolutely ridiculous, whether it be someone's dog riding on the back of a scooter, or like a family of 20 people hanging onto the side of a tuk-tuk going down the sidewalk. Something ridiculous. Montenegro was really cool. We had a really tight group of guys there. Russia was awesome. Really good guys there too. I mean, actually everywhere had good guys, but some we had stronger bonds than others, you know?
Isn't it crazy how, like, in Cambodia, you know, with them being a third world country, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have different means of ways of getting things done. You know, you said 20 people hanging off of the side of a what?
A tuk-tuk.
A tuk-tuk. What's a tuk-tuk?
So it's like pretty much a small carriage which is attached to a motorbike.
Okay.
So there's like 2 benches that face
Like
each
a
other.
side-by-side type of deal?
I mean, not too far off.
Okay. But if, on average, how many people should be on this vehicle?
Usually the driver plus maybe 4 people.
Wow.
4 if you're American sized. If you're Cambodian sized, more like 6.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. No, that's crazy, man, because it's like... You say it was like you see something ridiculous, but it's like their way of life, and it's ridiculous to us, you know. And that must have been a quite the experience. Was it humbling in a sense?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing was just learning to be grateful for all the things we take for granted in America. Like, we think that racism is bad here. It's like not even. I mean, if you took someone from another country and brought them here, then they would say like racism is non-existent.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Or you think like poverty and crime is bad here. You like go to other countries and it's rampant, and like, you know, it really puts things in perspective, especially when it comes to all the freedoms and the rights that we have. It's a huge thing. Like, people overseas don't really have that.
It makes me wonder. It makes me recollect with my mom. You know, my mother. My ethnicity is Salvadorian, El Salvador. You know, they're pretty poor over there. Our main food is a pupusa. You ever hear of it?
No.
All right. Well, a pupusa is basically like a tortilla. All right, you know what a tortilla is,
Right.
Stuff with like cheese or bean paste and cheese or beef. Like they'll put it in a bowl and then they'll flatten it out, put it on a flat top, and it'll cook. But it's really inexpensive. It's just like cornstarch. Mm-hmm. That's it. And whatever you have, like cheese, bean paste, Hello? Whoa, it cut out there for a second.
Yeah, I heard that.
All right. But yeah, so basically with that, my mother, you know, she tells me like, it's pretty poor over there. It's really, really bad. You know, MS-13 is one of the well-known gangs out of that country, you know. So it's thought to be really, really bad. My cousins went there, you know, and my cousins are about the same age as I am. And they told me that like while they were there was someone who would walk around hourly with a bell. Okay? And if you heard that person, then cool. The streets are cool. You can be outside. But if you didn't hear that person, apparently it meant that the gang members took the person, and it means stay inside. Gang activities going on. And I'm like, wow, like that's really, really scary. And now my mom's going back to the country because my grandmother built a place. And she wants to go back. She wants to visit, you know. And my grandma's like, you should come. And I'm like, I don't know, Grandma. I don't know. She's like, oh, no, it's fine. Like, I got a house. It's all safe. It's da-da-da. I got a fence. I'm like, yeah, a fence. You know, like, that's great. I don't know, man. I don't think I would go, to be honest. There's probably a lot of beauty to it in the nature aspect, but it would be a very humbling experience. That's why another reason I would like to go. Like, back and forth on the tier.
I think it definitely depends on the local area. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if you're a foreigner and you come to the U.S. for the first time and you go to like Philadelphia or New York City in certain boroughs, you know, like you might think that America is like rampant with crime. But when you come to like the countryside, you come to like a smaller city like Scranton, which isn't perfect by any means, but definitely way safer than a lot of our big cities are.
Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. It's a trial and tribulation. I haven't been out the country yet. planning on doing it eventually. I wanted to go to Paris, but then COVID happened, so we didn't end up going to Paris. But yeah, man, eventually I'm going to get out there. Maybe I'll go to El Salvador. I doubt it, but maybe one day, just to go back. And I've never been. Learn about your heritage, learn about your ethnicity. I think that's important. Also with finding yourself, inner self, truth to yourself. But with that being said, we're going to sign off with tea time here. Cheers to tea time.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you.
Not brought to you by, but inspired by Arizona Iced Tea. Everyone, thank you for watching. Enjoy yourselves in Arizona Iced Tea. I am the man in the middle, Kevin Martinez, signing out. Peace.